Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Cutter. We got together on Tuesday and introduced a new standard. And today we're going to talk a little bit further about that standard. But let's review it real quick to make sure you remember. With prompting and support, retell familiar stories, including key details. Remember, we reviewed that target and went over some of the words in that target and what they meant. Prompting and support meant that a grown-up would help you with questions, and retell meant that we would say the story in our own words from beginning to end. And the key details, remember that? We talked about two types of key details in a story that are important to remember. Do you remember what those two key details were? Let's see if I can remind you. Characters were one of the important key details that we discussed in our last read aloud. Characters are the stars of the story. Remember the story that we read on Tuesday? Your Alien? And we talked about who the two stars of this story were? They're right there on that cover, the boy and the alien. They were the characters in this story. The other important key detail we talked about in this story was the setting. The setting is where the story takes place. The setting in the story Your Alien included his home, his school, and the park. Great job remembering what the characters and the setting in a story are. And you did a great job remembering them from Tuesday in the story Your Alien. Now, we're going to talk about another part of key details that are really important to remember when you're retelling a story, and that is the plot. The plot is what happens in the story, starting with the beginning, then the middle, and finally, how does the story end? We're going to listen to our story, Your Alien, again, and our job this time is going to be to talk about the plot. What happens in the beginning, what happens in the middle of the story, and how does it end? But of course, you know me. Before we read this story, we got to get up and stretch and dance. Let's listen to a song about parts of a story.
The people are the characters. The people are the characters. The people are the characters, or even dogs or cats or birds. The setting is just where they are. The setting is just where they are. The setting is just where they are, like in their house or in their car. The beginning is what happened first. The beginning is what happened first. The beginning is what happened first. Like once upon a time there were. The middle part, the problems start. The middle part, the problems start. The middle part, the problems start. Like when the fishy saw the shark. The end. Just take a look at the last page, and close the book. The end. Just take a look at the last page and close the book.
That was a pretty catchy tune. I hope you liked it. Now, let's read our story, Your Alien. It's written by Tammy Sawyer, and it's illustrated by Goro Fujita. And there are our two main characters. Remember, the little boy and the alien. Let's read to see what the plot of this story is. You will be looking out your window when something wonderful comes your way. You will want to keep him. You'll have to break the news to your parents. Luckily, they won't notice what they've just agreed to. Your alien will follow you to school. He'll love the art supplies and the water fountain, but Mr. Binky will make him a little nervous. Your classmates will think your alien is awesome. As for your teacher, she'll think she needs new glasses. You'll try to share your casserole and peas, but your alien will have other ideas. Once you deal with the mess, you'll notice something is very wrong with your alien. You'll try to make him feel better, but nothing seems to work. Not even your robot jammies will do the trick. You'll both be tired and ready for a bedtime story. Then your mom and dad will kiss you goodnight. This will make your alien sniffle, and that will make you sniffle too. You turn off the light, you'll notice something about your alien right away. Meep, oog. You'll quickly turn on the light. Then you will give your alien a hug. This will make you think about other hugs. And for the first time, you'll know exactly what your alien needs. You'll turn on every light in the house. Click, 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 click. You'll decide to add a few extras here and there. This will attract some attention. Meep, oog. The reunion scene will be out of this world. Then you and your alien will wave goodbye. You'll feel like you could really use a hug. And you will be looking out your window when something wonderful comes your way. The end. Thanks for listening with me. Now, let's see if we can retell this story using key details. Remember that word plot? Let's try to retell the plot of this story. The plot has 3 parts: the beginning, the middle, and the end. Let's start with the beginning of the story. Do you remember what happens in the beginning of the story of your alien? What happens first? Let's use some pictures to help us remember the beginning of the story. Does looking at the pictures from the beginning of the story help you remember what happened in the beginning? I want you to press pause and I want you to talk about the beginning of the story. If someone's nearby, tell them what happened in the beginning of the story of your alien. Great job remembering the beginning of the story. Next, we're going to try to retell the middle part of the story. I'm going to show you a couple pictures from the middle of the story, and then we'll pause and you'll tell someone or you'll talk about what happened in the middle of the book. I hope the pictures from the middle of the story helped you remember some of the key details. Now, press pause, share with somebody, or just talk about it yourself. What happened in the middle of the story? The final part of the plot that we have to retell is the ending of the story. How did the story Your Alien end? I'll show you a couple pictures and then you get to tell all about the ending. Did seeing the pictures help you remember what happened at the end of the story? I want you to press pause, and I want you to talk about the ending of the story. Great job, boys and girls. Do you know what you just did? You just told the plot of the story. Remember that standard, that new target that we were talking about? You just did that. You just used prompting and support to retell a familiar story using key details. I'm really proud of all of you for working so hard on this target. To become a really strong reader, we have to talk about the books that we read. And you guys are doing a great job practicing that. To really stretch your brain, you could also talk about what was your favorite part of the story and why. You could also talk about a connection you made to the story. A connection I made to this story reminded me of when I was little and I went fishing and I accidentally caught a turtle instead of a fish. And we brought the turtle home to make sure it was okay after I got the hook stuck on it. And after a couple days, the turtle was doing great. I really wanted to keep the turtle, but I had to let it go. Just like that little boy had to let go of the alien. I knew the turtle belonged in the lake, so that's where we put him back. So that's a connection I made. A turtle's not the same thing as an alien, but it reminded me of that. Maybe you made a connection to the story too. If you really want to stretch your brains, you can share your favorite part and you can share your connection. Now, we're going to end our lesson today listening to our Emily Arrow song one more time. I never get sick of her. So, at the end of the Emily Arrow song, Your Alien, pay attention because there's a website that you can look at that will teach you how to make your own alien out of Play-Doh. That could be a really great craft to do, especially on a day that isn't so nice. If you decide to build your own alien, take a picture and send it to your teacher. And send it to me. I'd love to see it. All right. Great job today, guys. See you soon. Bye.
Out your window, something wonderful's outside your window now. You wanna keep him, please can you keep him? Something wonderful's outside your window now. And it goes beep, 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 and ook, 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 making friends with your little green alien. We'll go